The portable all-purpose saw is a common tool used on many construction projects. Because it is handheld, it can be easily used for vertical and horizontal cutting without the use of mounting brackets. The portability of the saw makes it a very versatile and handy power tool. The saw is designed for cutting a wide range of materials, such as concrete, metal, wood, and plastic. The all-purpose saw can also be used for cutting and beveling metal pipe, concrete pipe, masonry block, rebar, plastic pipe, and asphalt. With so many uses, it's no wonder the all-purpose saw is such a popular tool. Its size and ease of use make the all-purpose saw ideal for projects like laying pipe, or for other jobs where the work must progress quickly. The all-purpose saw is powered by a powerful two-stroke engine, which spins the blade at a very high rate of speed. Just because the saw is relatively lightweight and portable, don't be fooled. It is a very powerful and potentially dangerous tool to operate. Always inspect your equipment before you use it. This is especially important when working with power tools. Check the fuel level, switches, air filter, and check for loose nuts and bolts. Flying objects, dust, and an unsafe noise level are some of the hazards you will encounter when working with an all-purpose saw. That's why it is so important to wear the proper personal protective equipment when operating this power tool. Before you begin working with the all-purpose saw, protect yourself with eye protection, hearing protection such as earplugs or ear muffs, and an approved hard hat. If you're going to be cutting concrete, you'll need a respirator fitted with the correct filter for concrete dusts, safety goggles and/or face shield, work gloves, and heavy boots or safety shoes. First, place the saw on the ground. Be sure nobody is in the working range of the saw, and the blade is free of all obstructions. Then, adjust the blade guard. The blade guard will protect you from flying particles during cutting. Remember to start a cold engine with the choke in the closed position, regardless of the time of year. Start a warm engine with the choke in the open position. Open the choke after the engine fires. The engine will flood if the choke is left closed. Repeat the procedure if the engine stops. Warm up the engine by briefly revving to full throttle several times. To stop the saw, move the ignition switch to the off position. Now, it's time to make your cut. Again, make sure you're wearing the proper personal protective equipment and that your goggles fit snugly against your face. Gripping the saw firmly, operate it at full throttle when cutting. Let the blade cut freely. Do not force the cutting blade against the material you are cutting. Pull the cutting blade across the work, or move it forward and backward in the cutting direction. These two methods will give you a clean and efficient cut. Turn off the engine after a cut is done. Do not leave the saw unattended until the blade comes to a complete stop. Even though the blade may not be spinning at top speed, it's a potential hazard until it comes to a complete stop. While you're transporting your saw, it's important to remember to be sure the blade is facing the rear when you are carrying the saw. It is important to properly clean and store the all-purpose saw after each use. It's a good idea to remove the blade to avoid damage. If you have any questions, refer to the manufacturer's recommendations for proper maintenance, care, and storage. Like many power tools we use, the all-purpose saw can make our jobs easier. But because the all-purpose saw is relatively small and versatile, we may sometimes forget that it is a potentially dangerous tool. When operating any power tool, never take shortcuts. Wear the proper protective equipment. Follow the safe operating procedures. Take good care of the tool, and keep your full concentration on your work. It's the safe and smart way to do your job.